welcome to Chairman of the Board. Today I'm going to be showing you how to play and then reviewing Battle Line. Now, Battle Line is a two-player card game from Dr. Reiner Knizia. Now, it's from the year 2000, so it's quite an old game. So, does it hold up well? We'll find out. So let's get straight in to showing you how it's played. To set up a game of Battle Line, all you have to do is place these 9 red pawns in an equidistant manner in the playing area. Now, these pawns represent flags, which are the winning condition of the game. So to win the game, you have to claim any 5 of these flags or any 3 adjacent flags. Then you're going to give the cards a really good shuffle and deal 7 to both players. Now, the cards in Battle Line look like this. So we have 6 different colours of cards, each numbered between 1 and 10, and there are no duplicates at all. So how to claim these flags is basically based on forming 3 card poker hands. Now, these 3 card poker hands are known as formations, and as I said earlier, these are what are going to win you or lose you a flag. Now, there are actually only 5 different formations you can form in this game, so remembering them is pretty easy. So the strongest possible formation you can have is 3 cards of the same colour in consecutive values. So for example, here I have an 8, 9 and 10 of the same colour. And in the case that both players play the same formation, then it's the highest cumulative value of the numbers which will win that flag. So, for example, if I played an 8, 9 and a 10 and my opponent played maybe a 7, 8 and 9 of the same colour, then I would win the flag. If we both played exactly the same formation, then it's the player who played their formation first who would win the flag. So that's the strongest formation. The second strongest formation is 3 cards of the same number. So here I have 3 cards of 8. The third strongest is 3 cards of the same colour. As you see here, I've got 3 yellow cards in no particular value order. And the fourth one is 3 cards of consecutive values, and these can be any colour. So I've got a 1, 2 and 3, but as you can see, the colours don't match at all. And finally, the final formation is any other formation. So as you can see here, there's no pattern at all. There's no correlation of the numbers, and there's no correlation of the same colour. So in this case, then it's purely done on the highest cumulative value. So as you can see here, this suit trumps this suit, formation trumps this formation trumps this formation, and this formation trumps this formation. Okay, so now we know the setup, let's go into how the game actually plays out. So as you can see here, we've both got our first starting 7 cards, and these would obviously be secret. I'm just showing them face up for the purpose of this video. So decide the first player, and then all you're going to do on your turn is choose one of the cards from your hand. For example, I'll play this 1 here, and place it in front of any flag. Then you're going to draw back up to your 7 cards. Then your opponent is going to do the same. So let's say, for example, have we got any patterns here? So let's say we've got 2 8 cards here. So let's put an 8 on this card. And this is basically how the game's going to play out. So you're just going to play a card. For example, I've got another 2 here, and then draw another card. And turn by turn, we're just going to be going through these motions, playing a card and drawing a card, trying to make as good formations as possible. Now, once both players have formed a full formation of 3 cards, then you'll be comparing the strength of each formation. So take this flag, for example. I've got 3 cards of the same colour. My opponent has 3 cards of the same colour. Now, this formation is stronger than this formation, so therefore I will claim this flag, which will count towards my 1 of 5 towards winning, or if I win these 2, then I would win the game because I have 3 adjacent flags. But another thing that's interesting is that if you can prove that your opponent cannot beat you, you can claim the flag instantly. So For this flag, for example, I've got the 1, 2, 3 of green, which is a cumulative value of the same color, which is actually the strongest formation. But my opponent has the 7 and 9 of green. So if they had the 8, they would actually trump me and win the flag. But because I can prove that I have the 8 in my hand, I can claim this flag, because there's no way that he can physically beat me. Those are the basics on how to play Battleline, but the game also comes with a variant rule set, which throws in these tactics cards. Now these tactics cards all do weird and wonderful things, which kind of make the game a bit more random and unpredictable. So I'm going to give a few examples of what these cards do. So this Companion Cavalry card is an 8 in value, but it can represent any single colour, and you define the colour once the flag is being resolved. This Deserter card here lets you choose a troop or tactics card from your opponent's side and discard it. So you can kind of mess with your opponent's formations. And this Alexander card here lets you, basically this represents any card of any value and any colour. So it's a bit of a wild card. So yeah, those are the tactics cards. So let's get into my final thoughts on Battleline. Okay, so after going through that playthrough, I can kind of understand how Battleline wouldn't seem too appealing. But I assure you, underneath that very simple mechanism of drawing a card and playing a card comes a plethora of agonizing decisions. You really have to use your hand management skills, and as the game develops, your deduction skills to be really good at this game. As more and more cards are played, you're going to be constantly re-evaluating your best formations. And knowing when and where to play your strongest cards is really an art form, because, you know, do you hold on to your stronger cards with the hope of drawing the final piece to your puzzle? Or are you going to wait and see if your opponent plays the card that you want so you can then go somewhere else? It's just really captivating, really engaging, and you're just always thinking about what your best options are. I really love how more and more information becomes available as the game develops, because by the end of the game you're going to realise how many suboptimal decisions you've made, and that's what makes Battleline really addictive. You're just always going to be wanting to improve on your last performance. And games like that are the ones that kind of really make you want to play again and again and again. Battleline plays in a great, concise amount of time, and there's very little downtime. But be warned of players prone to AP, because in this game you have to play a card. Even when you don't want to, you've got no cards that match any of your current formations, you know, you have to play that card. And making those decisions is excruciating, and of course could be very problematic in players who are prone to AP, because they're going to take forever to make that choice. The game is so simple to learn. As soon as you have those 5 formations locked down, then you're good to go. Now, for that simple rule set, the game is surprisingly deep, and I love the fact that you feel like you can get better at this, and I definitely feel that you can get better at this. And to me, that is a staple of a good game. You know, you don't want to just be, you know, just going through the motions and letting the game play you. And for me, Battleline doesn't do this at all. Yes, there is that, you know, there's that concept of the random draw. You know, you're not going to get to choose what card you draw, but playing them optimally is completely up to you. So that randomness of the draw, it really isn't too big of a factor. Battleline is competitive and tense, but not in a nasty or mean-spirited way, more in a positive and engaging way. You know, if you get thrashed in this game, it's really not that big of a deal. It only takes about 15-20 minutes, so just reshuffle and go again and try to do better. Although the idea of these different battle formations trying to win these individual battles thematically makes sense, Battleline really isn't a thematic experience at all. which really isn't a knock on the game because the gameplay completely overrides the lack of theme, which is slightly unusual for me to say, but the gameplay is that solid. It really feels like a kind of retro, classic, almost pub card game, which you could imagine a bunch of older guys playing in a pub. It's just really kind of has that timeless, evergreen feel to it, and I can't ever imagine it becoming dated. And as for the components, Battle Line really doesn't hit a great spot. As you could see from the demo I played through, the cards are very bland looking, they're very dated, and the box and artwork, it's just not really up to scratch. But in this case, because it is such a solid game, I'm willing to give it a pass. It really doesn't concern me at all, even though the card stock isn't great. But I don't care. This game is really, really good. In relation to Battle Line's replayability, I think the game has a lot of legs. Yes, it comes with that variant rules with those tactics cards, but I really don't care for those rules at all, if I'm honest. I think it throws way too much unpredictability into it, and it kind of makes you feel a bit deflated when you think you've played well, but your opponent's been lucky and got a card that can just completely wreck your formation. So I'm not a big fan of that variant, but it's nice to know that it's there if you do want to play something a bit different. But for me personally, the base game is more than satisfying for me, and I've played this a lot of times with so many different people and always had a great time and never even begun to slightly tire of it. That's how much I think of Battle Line's replayability. It is truly great. Overall, I think Battle Line is a fantastic two-player game. It's quick, it's simple, it's engaging, it's portable. Really, it's all you want for a two-player game. I would highly recommend it to all players of all different skill levels because you're going to be challenged, but it's not overwhelming at all. I think this belongs in every gamer's collection. A true, amazing game from Reiner Knizia, and a cornerstone of two-player games for me. Absolutely fantastic. 2 thumbs up. Go out and buy it now. So I hope you've enjoyed today's review of Battle Line. If you have, please hit me a like, comment and subscribe to my channel. And even check out my other videos to see other board game related reviews. So thank you, and I'll see you next time on Chairman of the Board. Bye.